Hello everyone, it's Angel Sora and welcome to Lotus Lessons. Today we're talking about your orbiter and your landing craft. So right now I am in my landing craft. I have a Lisette, that's the first ship that you get. And then over time you can also build a Mantis, a Xiphos, a Scimitar if you would like. What this connects to is the orbiter, and that's what's below, or in the floors below. I'm going to go over all the different segments and parts that are located in your landing craft and your orbiter so you know what they do. So the first one, and the one that you will interact with the most, is navigation. This one allows you to see the solar map, and that's what this one is. This screen will show you all the planets, moons, and many other places that you can access. And if you click on any one of these, you'll get to see the different types of missions, the different places, and what kind of things you can do. And then you'll get to a junction, and this allows you to access a new planet. So for instance, once you do the Mars junction, it'll allow you to access Mars. And if I highlight Earth, you'll see the different paths it can take. So you can go down to Venus, across to Lua, or up to Mars. And as I go across the map, you'll see which planets they connect to, and they basically increase in difficulty. Over here at the very top, this is where you access different types of missions that are special. You have event missions, so right now, at this time, there's the Ghoul Purge. This is something brand new to the Plains of Eidolon. I haven't tried it yet myself. Then we also have the Balor Fomorian. This is a really big mission. Somewhat difficult, but as you can see, you get a lot of credits and a special item for it, so that is really awesome. Anyone can participate in it. Alerts. These are limited time missions that you can do, and you usually get more credits and sometimes even a special item. Like for instance, this one you get an Orokin reactor blueprint, this one you get nanospores, so it helps jumpstart you. So if you ever want to do a mission where you get a little extra incentive, alerts are the way to go. Invasions. Invasions are missions that you can run. You usually have to do 3 in a shot. So for this one, you can either choose the Corpus side or the Grineer side. As you see, one is support in a capture mission, the other one is supporting the Grineer for a spy mission, and it'll tell you if you choose one, you'll get that battle pay offer. So Corpus, you get the field run. On the Grineer side, Detonite Injector. And then if I go back here, you can see whose side is winning. Then over here we have the Syndicate missions. These allow you, besides the one that says Daily Cimaris, or Cimaris rather, that's for a separate person. But down here are for the actual main syndicates. These are the ones that I am currently with, so I have 3. And we'll get into those in a little bit. But this is where you can increase your standing, which is that little flag symbol on the very bottom where it says reward. And that'll help you get higher ranking in there and also get special items and things from that syndicate. Then we move on to Void Fissures. These are missions that allow you to take void relics and access them for special items, which are pretty cool. There's certain items in there, like Prime items, that you can only get in void missions. And now, I personally have access to something called sorties. So that's what this particular symbol looks like. A sortie, I have not tried one yet, but in a sortie, you see that the first one is number 1. You have to do these missions in order. I can't access these next ones, they're locked. But if I were to do all 3 missions, this is what I get to receive. So there's a lot of good things you can get from sorties, but this is higher level stuff, so you need to be prepared to do so. Now, exiting out of navigation, if I turn over here to my left, this is where you can access your syndicates. So there are 6 syndicates: Steel Meridian, Arbiters of Hexus, Cephalon Suda, the Parent Sequence, Red Veil, and New Loka. So if I were just to go into one, you'll see,
I was wrong about you.
after they're done talking,
to these people. And to me.
There are 5 levels. They all have slightly different names, but there's 5 different levels above the line, or when you are allied with them or working with them. And then there are 2 below. On the right side, you'll see alignments. Alignments just mean who are they working with or allied. So for instance, Steel Meridian is allied with Red Veil. So whenever Steel Meridian, you do one of their quests, or you use their sigil on your chest, Red Veil will actually gain some points too. If you do one that's opposed, they will lose a little bit of points, but not a lot. The parent sequence, because it's an enemy, they're going to lose whatever you gain in Steel Meridian, you are going to lose the same amount in the parent sequence. And if I keep going to the other ones, they all change. What else is in here are offerings. So offerings are items that as you unlock your standing and get higher and higher in rank, things that you can use. I wouldn't say they're currency, but when you reach a certain standing, you can use them kind of like currency to be able to access all of these. But you have to be the right rank. On this side of the ship, this is the market. This is where you can access buying different types of items. So if I click on the triangle, you can look by Warframes, and you can get skins, items, helmets, stuff for your Archwing, weapons, equipment. So these are things that can help you with your weapons and Warframes and things like mods. Those are very, very important things to boost. Also known as boosters. Those allow you to make things a little bit more efficient and to speed things up a little bit. And also some customized things like the color palette to make and choose your color for things. Everything is really customizable in here, which is awesome. One of the reasons why I like to play this game. Companions, you got the Kubrow or Kubrau, I never know how to pronounce that name, and the Cavit, which is basically a cat and a dog, and your Sentinels. You got different bundles, things that are put together. You can choose if you want it. If you find a lot of items that you like, you might be able to find them bundled together in one of these options. Tenogen. Tenogen's pretty cool because these are made by actual players. I haven't actually made anything myself. I don't have the program to do so, but a lot of the stuff that people are made are player influenced, that they design themselves. So a lot of their designs are really, really awesome. So you should definitely check it out if you're into cosmetics or new types of weapons, etc. Prime Access allows you to get better access to new Prime suits. So if you see right there on the top of the screen, you got Mirage Prime. That's the one that's currently out right now. Prime frames are usually better or have special capabilities or higher things or can last longer than their regular counterpart. And purchasing Platinum, which is the other form of currency, I guess you could say. The main one being credits, which are shaped like a diamond. On the left side, this is called the Codex. In here, the first option is quests. These will list every single quest you could possibly do. So these are all the quests that I have unlocked. I have unlocked all the main quests that you can do in the game. Over here under Universe, this will allow you to access pretty much, well, I wouldn't say everything, but almost everything that you encounter in the game. You'll get to see all the different companions, different objects you'll run into, relics, your Warframes and Archwings, the different factions. So that's Grenier, Corpus, and Infested. There's also the, I guess it's under Sentient? Let me double check. Things are unaffiliated, so those are just animals and creatures and whatnot. Orokin, so that's what it's called. So you got the Orokin, which you bump into every once in a while. Then you got the Sentients and the different Stalkers. You also can access all the mods, so you get to read all of those, and fragments, which also give you different details and also some nice art and weapons, of course. Training, this allows you to access different instructions so you know how to use everything. So everything I'm kind of telling you right now, in some basic senses, if you're ever confused, this is a great way to look up things and test things out, get a better understanding. And then here explains how a certain mission can be run. So these are all the main types of missions that you can do, and it'll give you a description. So for instance, if I click on assassination, it gives you a little description of what you have to do for that particular mission. And the last part of your landing craft over here is a scanner.
Command, this is for state transport of Tongue. Stand by for delivery of cargo.
Yep, it pretty much does just talks. It's not really, it doesn't really have a purpose right now, but that's pretty much it. So this is the very top of your landing craft, and as you walk down here, this is where this door right here, this is where you access your orbiter. So that's where your ship docks, on the very top of your orbiter. You never actually get to see your whole entire orbiter, but this is part of it. So on the right side, we have the foundry. This is where you build things. There are many different categories, all listed here. I'm not going to really go through all of them, but to be able to build things, this is where you're going to access, and it's going to tell you what items you need for it. So for instance, in this category, ready to build, these are the items that you have all the parts and things and resources necessary for. So for instance, the Amphis, I have all the parts necessary to build it, so I could just click on it and I could build it right away. Items that I can't build, for instance, this Burst Prime. I'm missing the barrel on stock, but I have the receiver and I have an Oracle cell. So I'm part of the way there, but it'll show me when it's not fully highlighted and checkmarked that these are the items that I need to work on getting. On the other side, this is where you use your mods, and this is where you alter your mods. So for instance, if I were to click on Accelerated Blast, I have Fusion, Sell Your Mod, Dissolve Your Mod, and I'll explain a little bit what this is in a minute. So Fusion is what you're going to be using most of the time for a mod, as long as this is a mod that you're definitely going to use. If I click on this, you'll see it says unranked. On the very left side, you'll see its stats. Now, as I press R1, the stats will change and they'll get higher and higher and higher, as well as the drain. That's how much it uses. On the right side, you'll see that little circle symbol, and I can't really read or see exactly what that silvery part is, what it's supposed to be, but either way, that symbol is endo. That is what you use to make your mods stronger, better, that type of thing. And then you have to pay a certain amount of credits. Now, Accelerated Blast, this is a basic mod-ish. It doesn't only has 3 options, it only goes up to max rank 3. So it doesn't absorb a lot. But if I were to go to, let's see if we can find a higher one. Okay, Blood Rush. This one is a lot higher. So if I go to Fusion, and I raise all the way up, you can see the number jumps ridiculously, but then you look also for rank 10 and you see how much endo it takes and absorbs, as well as how much credit it costs. On the very, very, very top, you'll see your endo total, so that will help you keep track of how much you have. So this gives you a good idea. So you might not want to do these all in one shot, like you might just want to go one level and then the next level, but it does scale up. So another part, this one is just like it explains, you can sell your mod for credits. I usually suggest, and most people suggest, don't do this, just because endo is important to level your mods. So there are many other ways to make credits. So selling your mods, you should save just for dissolving it into endo, because you need it.
A new alert has begun. It will be marked on navigation.
The last part of this, as you see here, it says Ayatan Treasures. If I were to click on this, right now I don't have a sculpture in my account. In here, I have them on display right now. But this is where you will access your Ayatan stars, so that you look like this. You have Amber and Cyan. And then I don't have a sculpture, but I'll show you them where they're set up right now. When you install those stars in your Ayatan sculpture, it basically increases the amount of endo that they're worth. and then you would sell them to Maru at her specific relay.
All mods accounted for,
And
operator. I have not taken any.
okay, thank you. That's where you can basically get more endo. Over here, this is the incubator. This is where you would grow your Kubro. I'm just going to call it a Kubro because it's easier to say and I like the sound of it better. And a Cavet. I don't have my Cavet segment in here yet, so I can only grow a Kubro, but this is where you would grow it. So you need an egg, a Kubro egg, or a Cavet one. Then you need an incubator core. Make sure you have an open stasis slot and no active pets that are currently open. So I'm not going to activate this right now, but if I did currently have the pet, he would be standing right here in this slot instead of the egg just floating around. You can also put a pet into stasis, so if you like the pet but you don't currently want to use it right now, you can stick it into stasis. When you have Kruvos, and I believe Cavets as well, they have upkeep. So you have to use a certain amount of credits to be able to keep them healthy and living. Otherwise, over time, if you don't take care of their health, they eventually will die. But they tend to be better. It's a kind of a debate, but for the most part, if you can do their upkeep, they potentially are better than Sentinels. So this is my Sentinel that I'm currently using right now. This is Helios. I'm using him just because I'm trying to fill my codex with all the scans as possible. Once I'm done with that, I'll probably switch to Carrier, or eventually when I get Carrier Prime. But this is the one that I'm using. But this is where your current Sentinel that you have in your loadout would be located. Over here, you have the Void Relics. So they are 4 different kinds. There are 4 different kinds: Lith, Meso, Neo, and Axii. And for instance, right now I'm on Lith A2, and on the very right side you'll see the possible rewards. The little blue lines that you see next to them are the likelihood of you receiving that or getting one of those. It'll only show you one. So if I were to do one of these missions, Valkyr Prime Blueprint, Lex Prime Barrel, Former Blueprint, one of those most definitely will appear. However, there is a slight chance to get Cernos Prime Blueprint, Ak Bronco Prime Blink, and there's a very slim chance of getting the Axoletto Prime Blueprint. However, if I were to click on this, just to click on the actual relic that I want, you'll see that the bottom part where it says Refinement, with a little icon, will increase. So if I lower this all the way to Radiant, you'll see that the percentages slowly change down the line. This just gives you a better chance of getting those rare items. The next part, which is also in the middle, is the arsenal. This is where you're going to change anything and everything about your current loadout. So this is your Tenno loadout. This is the one you interact with the most. So up here, this one you access for your actual Warframe. So you can pick whichever Warframe you're using. So these are all the ones that I have currently right now. These are all the ones that I don't have, or I did have and I got rid of. Then you got your primary weapon. You have your secondary weapon. And you have your melee weapon. On all of those, you usually will see appearance. So if I were to access appearance, this allows you to change almost everything. Almost. So for helmets, I only have this helmet and the regular helmet. That's where you can change that. The skin, whichever ones you have, and you can see here you can also just buy them from the arsenal. So if you want to do it that way, instead of going all the way upstairs to the market, you can do so. There's also different animations you can choose from if you so want to buy them. Attachments. These are where your armor goes. So I do have the Obsidian Azura chest plate and the armor that goes with it. I have all the Obsidian Azura set. But I usually don't put armor on, but this is where you could put your armor on. You have the Sindana. The Sindana is the thing that's on your back. So that little flowy thing, it doesn't really do anything for you, it's just for looks. Your regalia, or regalia, however you like to pronounce it. There's emblems. These are usually your clan or alliance emblem. I don't use either of them, but they would go right there. See, it's floating on the shoulder. And then your sigil, you can do the front or the back. But this is where most of them are syndicate ones. Like, for instance, this one's a syndicate one, that one's a syndicate one, but there are ones that are not. Like, this one's not, that one's not, that one's not. And you can adjust it accordingly. On the bottom half, you'll see colors, and this is where you can change and do whatever you want. All of it's customizable. As you see here, these are all locked just because I haven't unlocked any of the other palettes. The classic is not fully unlocked. This is just, you get the middle column, and then if you want to unlock it later on, you can purchase it. The Halloween one I got for free, so that's the only reason why I have this one. But again, everything is pretty customizable. Now, from here, you have, if I press and go into, let me get back out here, upgrades.
Excellent armaments, operator. Please return.
Covered in blood.
Okay.
Safe and sound.
Thank you. Alright, so over here, this is where you access modifying your particular Warframe, and this is where all the mods come into play. You have up to 3 different configurations because you might have a particular Warframe that maybe you are geared towards certain types of missions, and then you might want to say, oh, you know what, I want a different layout. You can have up to 3, which is pretty cool. If I go here and press R3 for the PS4 people, not sure what exact button it is for the other people, but it'll probably say on the bottom screen, these are actions. So you could auto install. I've never done that. I just kind of checked out what other people did and put my own in, but you can definitely do that too. You have the Orkin reactor. I can't highlight it because I already did it, but Orkin reactors allow you to double the capacity, which is awesome for mods, so you can put more and stronger mods on there. This is for Forma. When you take Forma, you add a polarity, which are those symbols around the Forma shape that's in the center, and this allows you to cut whatever the total is of the drain for a mod in half, if it matches that symbol. You can swap polarity. You can also add a lens. This is for getting affinity for your focus, which I'll explain in a little bit. And you can rename your configuration. Now, another thing you can do, so you can also press R2 to see your abilities for your Warframe. And you can do upgrades and appearances, all for your weapons and whatnot. Companions are located down here. You can do the same thing. Gear is where you can access items and things that you can use through your quests. So for instance, these are specters that can help you fight. I have a synthesis scanner located here, codex scanner located there, a couple of other things around. But another thing I want to show you, this is where you can change your actual loadout. So right now I have 4 extra slots available. So if you have a particular layout that you want to save besides your configuration, let's say you have one for, like I have one for, this one says extra at the very top, but I have one for Ash. So if I were to go to this one I could have for Ash, and then if I go to Ash Prime, it'll have all the specific layouts and configurations in there that I like. So it's usually good to have one for either geared towards a certain Warframe or a certain weapon or a combination of both. But if I press L3, now you'll see 3 different modes. Cooperative is the one you're going to use the most, but the second most popular, or the one you're going to use second after that, is Arcwing. This is where you access your Arcwing. So right now I'm running the Odonata, and for weapons, the dual decursion as the shooting weapon, and the Veritux for your melee weapon. The Arcwing is used in the sky, or in space rather, not in the sky necessarily, but technically also in the sky when you're on the plains of Eidolon now. And you can also use it in the water. And this will show you the different ones that are available to build, theoretically, and then there's also, you know, the prime variant of the Odonata. I don't think there's any prime variant of the other ones, but as you see, you can upgrade it, look at the appearance, equip different things, so it's pretty much the same. The last one, Conclave, is for PvP, or player versus player. So this is the layout that you get to use. There are, I believe, or so what I've heard, different things. There are restrictions on certain weapons, I believe. None of my weapons that I currently use are restricted, but I don't play PvP that much just because I'm not very good at it, but I've been practicing. Another category that's new, or that you haven't seen yet, is Lunaro. Lunaro is another player versus player game, but you're not directly fighting against another player. It's kind of like Scoop Ball. I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever played that, but there's an orb that you catch with that little scooper. You throw it, and you can only keep it in your hand for so long. So you basically run and you throw it to the other players, and you have to get it into the goal. Alright, so now we're going to go back to cooperative for a moment, and I am going to switch. Let me see who has one. Okay, Ember does.
Marked on navigation, Tenno.
Okay, so I'm picking her because if you look at her neck, she has this weird, funny little thing growing on her. That's a cyst. The reason why I'm showing that to you is because down here in the lower part of the orbiter, these are 3 rooms. This one that looks infested is because it is. This is the Helminth Infirmary.
Disgusting, is it not, Operator? Otis would enjoy
Purging this.
cleaning this room, but sadly this vile mass serves you and your Warframes. A necessary evil.
Okay, Lotus, thank you. So, as you can tell, this is an infested part of the ship. The only thing you can do is this part. You see it says Cure Cyst.
A strange biological archive.
Yes,
here.
I know, thank you.
I cannot explain it, Operator. As you know, I have sustained memory system damage. Otis recommends leaving at once and welding the door
Alright,
shut.
I'm going to try to talk over him. So if I were to press this, the claw would puncture the cyst and it would be destroyed. Which is good. You know, you don't want it there. It doesn't really do anything to you. But if you do have a Kubro egg, you can make and fuse that. Let me see if I can run up here real quick. You can actually combine a Kubro egg and the Helminth cyst together, and you can make kind of like a modified thing called a Helminth charger, which is kind of interesting. I haven't tried that yet, but you can make that instead of having a standard Kubro. Otherwise, if you just go to the chair, it'll just pop the cyst, and I believe, as far as I know, the cyst will never come back to that particular Warframe. But other than that, it doesn't do anything to you, it doesn't damage you or anything like that. Now, the center room. Oh, spoilers for anyone who has not done, let's see, what was the first one? The Second Dream and beyond. But if you've heard the term operator, if you heard the term Tenno, you'll understand a little bit more past this. So, over here, this is your operator, or this is my actual operator, but this is where your operator would be located. Your operator is the actual Tenno herself, or himself, or itself, and this is where you access focus. So there are 5 schools: Lunairu, Vazarin, Zeneric, Naramon, and Madarai. Right now I'm currently working on Zeneric. So if I go here, you'll see kind of like a tree-shaped thing that you could build upon different focus and different stats that'll help you in-game for your operator mostly, but it can also help your Warframe as well. So that's pretty cool. And you can work on all of these, and they all branch off. And again, because this game is so customizable, you can customize all the different things. Hairstyle, how your face looks. The part though was, I didn't really like the interface for that, but either way, you can customize everything, even your voice. I'm not going to go into all of these, but again, experimentation is the best way to figure things out. Then over here, the last section. Oh, those are all my Ayatan sculptures, by the way. I call those the clicky things, just because they look like they would click, even though there's no sound. But yes, these are all the ones I have received so far, or collected so far, minus the urn. That's for Inaros. But the last segment on the right, this is brand new. This is your personal quarters. So mine is completely blank. I have not put anything in it yet, but I'm very excited to. So over here, you have 2 fish tanks. So once you collect fish on the plains of Eidolon, fish can go in the fish tank. You have this over here. This is where it'll show your current loadout. So right now I have Ember. But normally I have Ash Prime, so that's what's located in this section. Then in the center area, over here in this little circle, you see Soma Cord. Unfortunately, I cannot show you this because I don't have my Soma Cord built, or Octavia built either, so I can't show you all of it, but this is where you can have a nice ambiance of music that plays in your landing craft and orbiter. You have some shelving over here and over there to display different items and things. This center area, let me see what side, was it this side? I think it's this side to access it. This is where you can access your stencil, so you can access some pretty designs for your wall. A vignette, so this goes in the very center. So you can do an aquarium, Cephalon vignette. I'm probably gonna go with this one, but again, fool around, pick which one you like. Again, because these are cosmetic stuff, these you have to purchase, so it's up to you if you want to spend your platinum on it. And then over here, I didn't touch this yet, I'm not going to right now, but it is actually going to unlock a very small quest, which I'll put in another video. And that is your whole entire landing craft and orbiter. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more tutorials and beginner updates for you guys. See you later.